Hey guys, DQUARTZ Go is now available to the public, and today I'm going to be explaining all about this new technology and what a huge leap it is for the detailing industry, and especially for you. We've got a lot to go over today, so let's get started. We're going to go over a few specific things. Number one, what is DQUARTZ Go? What is Nano Diamond C-Quartz Fusion technology? Why we're so excited about it? Where does this stand compared to C-Quartz UK? How does this compare to DQUARTZ Professional, which is through our certified installers? Does this need a top coat? What's the curing time? What's the expected durability? And of course, how to apply it and best tips on how to apply it, or how to prep for it, and how to maintain it. In short, DQUARTZ Go is protection for your paint that lasts for years and performs incredibly well relative to any other options that are out there on the market. It utilizes an entirely new technology called Nano Diamond Quartz Fusion, and as crazy as that sounds, it's actually legitimate. I rolled my eyes the first time I saw it as well, but after research and learning all about it, it literally is actually what they do is they make synthetic diamonds by crushing carbon, and they create these synthetic nano diamonds, which is utilized within that solution. And so when you're applying it to the surface of the paint, that in conjunction with the quartz and all the other ingredients that are in the coating help to make the paint a little bit harder. It actually raises the paint hardness by up to 5 points on the pencil hardness scale. And then it also obviously helps resist dirt, make the car way easier to clean, and do all of the things that all of the C-Quartz and Carpro ceramic coatings are famous for. What about C-Quartz UK 3.0 in contrast to this, or C-Quartz SiC? Well, they're very different products technology-wise, all meant to do the same thing, which is protect your paint. But how do they do that and what do they protect it against will vary between the three coatings. C-Quartz UK is, in my mind, the most foolproof coating possible to apply. You can leave it on there for a long time before you go to wipe it off, relatively speaking, and it wipes off clean no matter what you do. This coating is also quite easy to apply. DQUARTZ Go is really easy to apply, but I would give the edge as far as ease of application to C-Quartz UK. Still, as coatings go, DQUARTZ Go is quite simple to apply. I would say even maybe a little simpler than C-Quartz SiC, so right between the two in ease of application. As far as durability goes, obviously this is a brand new product, so I can't tell you this is going to last 5 years. I can't tell you exactly how long it's going to last. All I can tell you is that based on what we've seen over the past year with the technology that's in this product, with the DQUARTZ technology, is that we're astounded so far. We haven't seen any failure or any dip in performance of the coating on any car. So I expect it to last a very long time. We've definitely seen it hold up better to chemicals and salt and stuff like that, even better than C-Quartz UK, as hard as that is to believe. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight, quick summary into the differences between the three. As far as slickness goes, this is a little more slick than UK, but not quite as slick as C-Quartz SiC. And when I say slick, I mean to the touch, the human touch. Like when you rub your fingers across it, that feeling, that's the order that I put them in. Now when it comes to things landing on the car and sliding off the car, nothing's going to slide off the car any easier than it will off of DQUARTZ UK from what we've seen. So all three are phenomenal at that. Some people like to touch their car and they want to feel that slippery feeling, but if you don't care about that, then it doesn't really matter as far as, or at least it's not directly related to how things slide off your car. That's just a feeling that we get when we touch it. Cure times. With ceramic coatings, it's important that the coating has time to cure before it's exposed to the elements. So what are those cure times with DQUARTZ? Well, a lot like C-Quartz UK and C-Quartz SiC or any really high quality ceramic coating, it depends on what it's being exposed to. For instance, immediately after you apply the coating, you want to keep it free of everything. You want to apply it inside a enclosed environment. You want to keep away the water and the chemicals and all of the different things, right? But once you've had it sit for, say, a couple hours, theoretically speaking, if a little bit of water was to get on it, if it was pure water with no minerals in it, then theoretically speaking, that wouldn't harm it. You just blow it right back off, no big deal. But in reality, what you're asking when you say what the cure time is, how long until I can get it wet, you mean how long can I get it with dirty water? So, how long can I let the car go out the door and drive through the streets? And so then we have to ask, is it raining? You know, how muddy is it? Is it salty? Is it the middle of winter, and are you in a state where there's salt on the streets? Because if that's the case, then you prefer to have it cured and protected for 48 hours. In a perfect world, 3 days is when you're really strong against chemicals and everything. But typically speaking, in an environment where it's going to be released and there's no rain, you know, within 12 to 24 hours is generally what's going to happen. One question that I know is going to pop up is, can we use release with this product if we have to release it the next morning? Yeah, absolutely. You can use release with it, and that'll help give you a little bit of a sacrificial barrier to help protect against those things. Can I IR cure it? Yes, you can. It's not necessary, but you can use an IR curing lamp on DQUARTZ Go. Can you top it? Yes, you can top it, and we'll go over that a little bit more during the application. So obviously the huge question out there that we always get with ceramic coating is, how long is this going to last? And we've gotten more and more away from it's going to last this many years or that many years, because the truth of the matter is that all depends on how you maintain the vehicle. And that is true with any coating. That's true with a can of wax, right? If you put wax on your car and you drive it around in the chemicals and it's just a typical car noob wax, it might last a week. If you have you know, salty roads, it's going to be dead after one drive. If you leave that car with only wax on it in your garage, it's still going to be on your car 50 years later. So there's a huge variety of things and a lot of variables that are going to affect how long this lasts. That's not a cop-out, that's just the truth. With SiC UK, Carpro has always said it's a 2-year, you know, 2 years is what you can expect, and what they are giving you is the realistic expectations in typical conditions on a daily driver car, right? So we see people all the time that it lasts 3-4 years, no problem. And if it sits in the garage, obviously longer than that. So with DQUARTZ, we expect something similar to that. We expect that it'll probably outlast SiC UK, but again, until we've seen it in all those different environments, we can't tell you on average what it will last or what it won't. So what's the difference between DQUARTZ Go and DQUARTZ Professional? Well, DQUARTZ Go is based off the technology that's been utilized for DQUARTZ Professional, but in a user-friendly, do-it-yourself package that we can sell to the open market. Basically, if you make a mistake with DQUARTZ Go, it's going to be easier for you to fix than if you were to be utilizing DQUARTZ Professional, which is certified installer only. With DQUARTZ Go, it'll be pretty easy to polish that right back off if you make a mistake, obviously within reason. If you leave a thick high spot and wait too long, then yeah, that's going to be a problem. But if it's just a thin high spot, or you get to it a lot sooner, then that's really easy to remove. And then also the window when you're applying is quite easy with DQUARTZ Go. Very forgiving. All right, guys, so now for the fun part, what comes in our DQUARTZ Go package? Number one, obviously a bottle of DQUARTZ. Carpro has chosen to make only a 50 ml size at this time. It's a beautiful bottle. I love the design on that, and obviously the box too. We have requested a 30 ml bottle, but at this time there's no plans to make a 30 ml, but I'm sure that'll come eventually. So DQUARTZ Go 50 ml, that will easily do 2 coats. If you want to do 2 coats, it'll do 2 coats on an SUV with some to spare, or if you have a smaller car, you could do 2 coats on 2 of those cars. So short of the product, it comes with 5 swids, which you're probably quite familiar with. Those are used in conjunction with the foam applicator. And then for those that are a fan of the microfiber applicator, it comes with one of those as well. This is reversible, so you can stick your fingers in there, do that side, and then if you want to, you can flip it out, reversible, and utilize the other sides of it too. So you got 4 sides basically. Finally, last but not least, we have the hologram sticker. Those hologram stickers, it's going to say SiC on the opposite side of it. The way that this is applied, the sticky part goes against the inside of the glass, and then you'll be reading the really cool hologram sticker from this side when you see it from the outside of the glass. So one final thing that I wanted to mention, the instruction pamphlets. So there's 2 instruction pamphlets in there, and that leads me to something that I would like to point out. Anytime that you're going to apply this product and you want fresh tips, either go through this video, or for the most up-to-date tips, go to our website, skycarcare.com, where we keep the best tips based on everything that we're learning and that we're testing as we go. That way, you don't have something that's in print that can go out of date, that we can learn better tips for you as we go. But needless to say, Carpro includes a DQUARTZ Go instruction manual and then an additional little pamphlet here with some tips on it. Like I said, just go to our website and you'll get the better tips instead of anything confusing like that. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the application of DQUARTZ Go. We've already used our best practices to prepare for the coating. There's actually a link below if you want to check out more best practices for actually prepping for the coating. But what we did was we washed it, we decontaminated it, we polished it, and then we wiped it down with Carpro eraser, or at least the areas that we're going to do these tests on right now. Number one, we have a little bit of paint protection film right here. We want it to, this is not advised to use DQUARTZ Go on PPF. I want to make that clear. We have C-Quartz Skin or many other coatings that you can use on PPF. DQUARTZ Go is not one of them, but we're still going to test that. So that's just the last half of this rear door. We're going to test it on there. We went ahead and prepped that with the polish as well. And then everywhere else, again, we prepped with polish, wiped it down with Carpro eraser. So we're going to do one coat here, 2 coats here, so we can see over time what the differences are and give you those updates. And then in the back 2 sections here, we're going to do 1 coat with a coat of SiC and 1 coat with a coat of gliss, because I know a lot of you guys love to put the gliss on top of your coatings, and that's a question that we're going to get a lot of. Okie doke, so a few things. Obviously wear gloves when you're using any chemicals. Give the product a little shake. When you open the bottle, always aim it away from your face, just in case anything squirts out. And then you want to apply a little bit of that. You can drip it on or wipe it on. Doesn't really matter. But get it all over your applicator. And then you just basically spread it around. Get it on the entire panel. One thing that's important is when you are doing a panel, you don't want to stop in the middle of a panel if you get a phone call, for example. I put this little line here just because I'm going to do double coats on one side of this. So you can, as you can see, you can use this on the trim like I'm doing here. That's no problem at all. And you can even use it on the plastic and other surfaces. With a caveat to that, on brand new textured plastic, we do not advise coating, but you can learn more about that in our other videos. It's important when you're applying that you get it on nice and even. And so once you've spread it, you can either cross-hatch it, but you don't want to, anywhere where you have like a real tight curve, you don't want to leave a higher spot there. So now what you're going to be looking for as time goes on is for it to flash, for it to turn rainbow color, for it to go from a dark, wet-looking appearance to a lighter appearance. And if you can see that, hopefully you can see that in the lighting, you can see that it's already started to evaporate and look like it's almost ready to wipe off. We're going to go ahead and leave it on for a few more minutes because I like to make sure that it's really fully flashed and ready to go. But if you're new to ceramic coatings, then you can never go ahead and test it a little bit too early. There's never no such thing as too early to test a little spot and make sure that it's easy to wipe off. Generally, what we recommend people do when you're ceramic coating is to test a little spot with we like to use either the Microfiber Madness Slogger or the Carpro two-phase towel, and to just test a little spot. And if it wipes off real easy, then leave it a little longer and just keep studying it on that very first panel. Get a real good feel for how the ceramic coating reacts. As you can see, it is showing up the rainbow colors like I talked about. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of separation in the lines if you didn't apply it as evenly. And then eventually it's going to become difficult to wipe off. So you don't want to leave it too long. And we'll go ahead and do a little test spot in another minute or two. All right, guys, so it's been probably over 10 minutes. We did a couple little test spots along the way, and it's still super easy to wipe. In my previous test, I already put DQUARTZ Go on some of the rear lid back there, and what I found was up to 20 minutes was still easy for me to remove. Of course, that's going to vary some with your environment. As you can see there, it's still wiped off super easy. I did apply it a little overly thick here because I was trying to get a good view for the camera. And so it is a little bit thicker right here, but the rest of it, where I applied it correctly, it's wiping off nice and clean. It's ready to wipe off. And yeah, I'd say about 10 minutes is a nice spot, but you know, always go with what works for your environment. When you're wiping off, you want to make sure to get down into any little crevasses like this, into any tight little areas. If you're going around door handles, you want to make sure to open that door and get your hand down, or your towel down in there in between all of those little areas. Basically anywhere where a high spot can get to, you want to make sure you get it out of there. And of course, every once in a while, you want to flip your towel to a fresh, clean side so you're not getting excessive buildup that's going to leave like finger marks on the coating, or finger marks of the coating. All right, guys, so I just finished wiping off this whole section and all the way around this back side. We went ahead and applied it to one coat to that entirety of that. Now we're going to wait 1 hour, and then we're going to come back and put 2 coats on one section, gliss on another section, and top it with SiC on the third. We're not going to show that in this video, just because the video will get too long, but that's so that we can give you updates moving forward. As far as the wipe-off, in our experience, the flash time for DQUARTZ Go is about 10 minutes at 73 degrees, plus or minus a few minutes. You're okay, but if it gets warmer, you definitely want to keep it a little under that 10-minute period. For your layering time, you have 1 hour. At about an hour, then it's best to put on your second coat if you decide to use a second coat of DQUARTZ Go. For your cure time, that needs to be between 12 and 48 hours, depending on the environment that you're releasing the vehicle into. And for your full hardness, this is as hard as the surface is going to get, and the most resistant it's going to be to the environment. That is 7 days. Carpro does not necessarily recommend topping DQUARTZ Go. However, if you choose to do so, you can top it with Quartz SiC after 1 hour or longer. You can top it with gliss after 4 hours. And if you want to use reload or release on the vehicle after you've applied DQUARTZ Go to it, then you want to wait 4 hours for that as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave those below. Like I said, we've got the DQUARTZ Go available now, so make sure to pick that up from us. There's links below to buy that. And if you have any questions before, during, or after the application, you know where to reach out. Hit us up by email or by phone anytime, and we're here for you. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a great day.